Brought to you by GatewayCitySavers.com.
In or Out with Jim Hanifan and Rick Venturi, exclusively on 101ESPN.com. Now your host, Brian Stahl.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of In or Out here on 101 ESPN. Along with Rick Venturi, Jim Hanifan, I'm Brian Stahl. Let's get right into it, gentlemen. Coming into the season, San Francisco highly touted as being the favorites in the NFC West. They're off to an 0-3 start. Seattle, however, is 2-1. At this point, are you in or out that when it's all said and done, Seattle will be the NFC West champion?
I'm in. I think that's a rather obvious thing. You're 3-0 right now. You're feeling good about yourself. They've got the veteran quarterback, Hasselbeck. They have to feel good.
How about you, Rick? In or out?
I'm out on that one. I think that they're on a wing and a prayer. I think that they've got some turnovers. Leon Washington turned the game around with returns, but their numbers aren't that good. I still think that San Francisco will right the ship, and I never count out Kenny Wisenhunt at Arizona. So I think Seattle's off to a good start, but I think it'll slow down.
Now, we've seen here in St. Louis the releasing of a veteran quarterback in Mark Bulger, starting to see some of the rewards as Sam Bradford develops. Seattle is a similar situation. They've got Matt Hasselbeck. They've got a young quarterback on the bench. In or out, gentlemen? We'll start with you, Rick. In or out that Seattle needs to release Matt Hasselbeck?
No, I'm out on that one. I think Matt gives him the best chance to win. He's still an efficient guy. Now, he's suffering from some of the same things Bulger suffered for. He doesn't have a great supporting cast. They're not a real explosive team on offense, but he continues to play pretty well, and I would, they made the trade for the other guy in the summer, so they've got a guy long term, but I would play Hasselbeck for now.
Andy, what about you? In or out that Seattle needs to stay with Hasselbeck or go a different direction?
Well, I'm in. I say you keep Hasselbeck, you keep working him. They did make a significant trade for a young quarterback in Whitehurst that they got from San Diego Chargers. So they satisfied, I think, their thought regarding the youngster. They do have a guy in their building, in their organization, that they're getting him ready. But they're going to stay with Hasselbeck until he's too old to go.
All right, the Rams ended their home game losing streak this past Sunday against Washington. Of course, this Sunday it's Seattle coming to town. 10 games since the Rams have been able to defeat Seattle. In or out? When you lose to a team that many times, does it get in your head? Hanny, we'll start with you. In or out?
Oh, I say out. I think you've got a young team here with the Rams that most of these guys, they don't even know where in the hell Seattle is, let alone I'm talking about geographically speaking, let alone about the Seahawks and the 10 games. I mean, they weren't here for any of those, So I can remember getting a dagger in my heart with two Josh Brown's field goals, 54-yard field goals that beat us.
Yeah, well, thankfully, Josh Brown is now a member of the Rams. But, Coach, you were also part of that streak. In or out? Does that get in the team's psyche?
Well, I think it's out. I'm totally with Hanny on this. I think it means more to those of us who have endured it, and have helped with it, I guess. But, you really basically have two relatively new coaching staff. Coach Spagnuolo 1 year, Pete Carroll, just new players, like Jim said. So I don't think it makes that much difference. I will say one thing as a sidebar, though. When you lose 10 straight to a team, we always used to say a loss or a game in the NFL was like 10 in baseball, so that'd be like losing 100 straight to the Cubs.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of In or Out. Don't forget, pregame begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. on 101 ESPN as we get ready for the Rams and Seattle. And then on Monday, Randy Carricker will be back here on 101ESPN.com with what he learned from the game. So be sure to keep it right here for all of your Rams updates. For Jim Hanifan, Rick Venturi, I'm Brian Stahl, and we are out.